Planet Dolan.
From dancing while wearing bunny masks to riding on unicycles naked, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the weirdest things we've done with friends. I'm Pringle the One, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Case and Poopy. Froggy became interested in Attack on Titan when she was in 6th grade. It was then that she discovered a joke where one of the characters, Jean, was a horse. One day, Froggy told her friends at school that she just so happened to have a plastic model horse, and they told her to bring it to school. So the next day, she brought it to school. They spent their recess putting paper napkins around its neck and playing around with it. Of course, they also named it Jean. One night, after a majority of her friends left her house after a sleepover, Froggy and one of her friends thought it would be fun to dunk Jean into a tub of flour and then clean her off by drowning her in the sink. Now, Froggy waits for the perfect opportunity to bring Jean to her high school. Number 9 was submitted by Demon Lord 182. When Hellbent was 9, him and a group of friends wanted to do something fun, so his older brother suggested they all do something that he claimed to always do. He led Hellbent and his friends to the police station where he went up to the front door and yelled, "Stay away from the Muslims, they don't like pork." Hellbent and his friends ran away and hid in the trees and bushes surrounding the area, but his brother stayed behind, smugly grinning at the angry police officers inside. Needless to say, Hellbent's brother got into big trouble. Number 8 was submitted by Naked Banana 1515. One night while having a sleepover at her aunt's house, Gooby and her two cousins decided to play Truth or Dare. After a bunch of lame truth questions about crushes and boys, Gooby decided to pick Dare. Her cousins dared her to go to the kitchen and make a volcano milkshake, which is supposed to make someone puke so hard that it seems like a volcanic eruption. Not wanting to look like a chicken, Gooby agreed and made a milkshake with raw egg, milk, ketchup, mustard, flour, cocoa powder, orange juice, sausage chunks, cheese, and mayonnaise. After her cousins checked to make sure it was disgusting enough, they held her down at her request and forced a spoonful of the milkshake into her mouth. Gooby puked all over the kitchen floor. When her aunt came home and saw the mess, she told her to eat a spoonful of olive oil to get the taste out of her mouth. But that made Gooby even sicker. She ran to the bathroom to puke in the toilet, but didn't make it in time, and ended up puking on the floor. One of her cousins were so disgusted that she puked in the sink. Despite all the chaos, her cousins dared her to drink out of the toilet, which Gooby did. Number 7 was submitted by IDGAF 4862. One of James Shark's friends, Derek, got a unicycle that was handed down to him from his grandfather. Naturally, they decided it would be awesome to learn how to ride a unicycle, so they began to practice. They practiced for a couple of weeks until they got the hang of riding for about 50 to 100 feet or so. One night, while practicing more, they got the glorious idea of riding the unicycle while naked. So after stripping naked, Derek decided to go first. The sight made James Shark and his other friends laugh hysterically from the sidelines, until Derek jumped off the unicycle and ran toward them. Looking frightened, he pointed at the neighbor's house and said,
"Your neighbor is outside smoking right now."
It was then that James Shark and his friend realized that Derek's neighbor witnessed everything. They immediately ran inside, but ended up laughing for a solid 20 minutes. Number 6 was submitted by Assassin 78910. Spinal Palm and his friends always set off fireworks on the 4th of July. One time, instead of shooting them off in the sky, they decided to shoot them at each other. That year, they used the bottle rockets, which blew up in a rather big explosion. After a few burns, Spinal Palm managed to aim one at one of his friends. When it went off, the firework hit his friend right in the nuts and exploded. His friend was in a lot of pain and didn't speak to him until a few months later. Whenever they look back on it, they always just laugh. Number 5 was submitted by Renegan Kamui. In high school, Dolan and his 4 friends would put on bunny masks and drive through a fast food drive-thru late at night. They would climb out of their car and rock out to the blaring music once they got to the window. One night, after a football game, Dolan and his friends decided to do what they usually did at a drive-thru. Only Dolan decided to take it a step further. He decided to jump on top of his car and dance to the loud music. A security guard from inside the restaurant spotted him, leaned out the drive-thru window, and screamed, "Take the mask off, turn the music down, and get in your car!" He then complained and moaned about various safety hazards which Dolan and his friends didn't pay attention to. After that, they drove away without getting anything they ordered. Number 4 was submitted by Rap God 1017. When she was in 4th grade, Melissa was with a group of her friends during recess. One of them accidentally stepped on an ant, killing it. They were so bored that they decided to have a funeral for it. So Melissa gathered little rocks to place around the ant's remains and put a little leaf over them, sort of like a coffin. Then they got about 20 people to attend the ant's funeral. Melissa chanted,
"Goodbye, my little ant. Goodbye, my
Number 3 was submitted by Big Blob 92. Tulip and her friends did a lot of exploring while they were in middle school. One time, they found an old horse track and went into a concession stand. Inside, they found all kinds of porcelain baby dolls and took some. On their way home, Tulip and her friends saw some older teens kicking around a dirty pink bra. They joined in, kicking it around the park. Tulip gave it the name Bernice before kicking it into a nearby lake. Eventually, one of Tulip's friends fished out the bra with a stick. Then they tied a piece of string to it and dragged it into the wooden area that surrounded the park. There, they set up a grave for the bra, writing various quotes from their favorite philosophers on it. Tulip had always believed that day to be sad, but beautiful. Number 2 was submitted by Lusty Yoshi. One time, Ramona and her friends decided to walk down a local gas station. The girls decided to do so while wearing their Halloween costumes. Ramona dressed as Jigsaw while her friend dressed as Pennywise. They pretended to be drunk while buying candy, cigarettes, and chalk. After leaving the gas station, they walked down the streets while pretending to smoke the candy cigarettes. Ramona and her friend used the chalk that they bought to draw pentagrams while screaming, "The end is near. Give your money to Pennywise and Jigsaw." Number 1 was submitted by Otaanami-chan. During a Sweet 16 party, Doopy and her friends decided to chill out with a game of Truth or Dare. When it was her turn, Doopy chose Dare. Her friend told her to run up and down the street with her hands in the air while screaming,
I love strippers!
Since she lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone, it was constantly talked about between the people who lived on her street for quite a long time. Despite being embarrassed, Doopy thought it was a lot of fun and never regretted what she did.
If you guys have ever thought about joining Planet Dolan, if you have a 5 to 10 minute story time of your own, submit a script and voice recording to story@planetdolan.com. Check the description box below for further details.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, everybody. Peace.